First up, look, I feature in some YouTube videos for some interesting things that I may have done and for some silly things and some embarrassing things. But I do not have a YouTube account. So I can watch it, but I don't have an account. I'm also not on Facebook or Snapchat, occasionally use Instagram, but now avoid the toxic site Twitter. I'm obviously also not under 16 and my children are in their mid-20s, so will not be captured by intended social media bans that were announced in Canberra today. Now, I used context here because not being in the middle of a family debate about the use of these sites, I do not want to downplay the impact they have on some youngsters and under 16s being bullied or exposed to things like pornography or other dark sites. These intended age-related bans are designed to be in place by December, so it's not far away. And that's where I pause because I inherently don't like banning things. And as someone who likes to deal with common sense, I just wonder how this will actually work in practice. And plenty of experts have today said they don't think it will. Now, as I said, I'll talk later to a young Australian who disagrees with this ban. So to just be clear, the Minister, Annika Wells, the Minister charged with getting this across the line, explained today why, despite a vigorous campaign by YouTube, YouTube, were included in the age-based bans.
YouTube did send the Wiggles to try and persuade me to their position.
Did they?
They did. They sent Big Wiggle. And obviously, like my twins love the
You're
Wiggles.
joking, right?
No. These are not set and forget laws, they're set and support, and it's up to YouTube and all the other social media platforms who are impacted by the ban to now work with the E-Safety Commissioner around what this looks like for their particular platform.
Now, my scepticism about this much-hyped idea comes from the definition of what the companies must do to comply. They will be required to, quote, take reasonable steps to prevent persons under the age of 16 from creating or holding an account. Well, that's well and good, but you don't need an account as far as I can work out to watch YouTube. You can just watch it anyway. The changes also threaten social media giants with fines of up to $50 million if they dodge the bans. Now, does anyone seriously think that'll actually happen? Does anyone think smart kids will not find easy ways around this change? And someone needs to ask the government, what will they do if, say, Instagram or maybe TikTok threaten to shut down their sites in Australia and turn Australia black? Now, the Prime Minister joined the Minister for Communications at this launch today. Here's what he had to say.
Social media does have a social responsibility and they also need a social licence. So there'll be demand from the community for social media companies to engage constructively. We don't do this easily. What we do, though, is respond to something that is needed here.
Notice that flag I was talking about and how confusing that would be for someone watching this overseas. Now, look, this is one of those things that sounds good in theory, but is probably impossible to implement because it's like putting the genie back in the bottle. And in practical terms, I believe, as hard as it might be, the policing of youngsters under 16, I believe should be the responsibility of the parents, just like it was when my parents limited TV viewing after school, putting boundaries around what you spent your time doing. And think about it. How does a parent watching YouTube start to tell his or her children that they can't? Now, we will watch this experiment very, very closely.